Almost 9 out of 10 buyers say they'd use their agent again. We've been over the stats before. You want to know how many actually do? It's 18%. And that number is probably, unfortunately, gonna stay close to that. That's it, 18%. So nearly everyone loved you and almost nobody comes back. And that gap right there is really the whole game for the next few years. And let me tell you why. First, this is Your Daily Real Estate. It's a podcast, it's a show. I'm Tristan Ahumada, and let's get into it. Over the next 5 episodes, I'm going to walk you through what it actually takes to thrive as a real estate agent in the next few years, not survive. We're talking thrive. In fact, I run a webinar once a month called Throttle and Thrive, so look out for that. And I'm starting with the one thing that I think matters the most. It's trust. Now, I don't mean trust like the greeting card on your desk. I'm not talking about being a nice person, the kind that actually builds relationships and gets you paid. Think about what your client is doing. They're about to make the biggest financial decision of their life. That goes for over 99% of people when they purchase a home. It is usually the biggest purchase of their life. They're not betting it on a website. They're betting it on a person. Hopefully they're betting it on you. AI can run the numbers, it can pull the comps in 2 seconds, and it doesn't do that bad. It can write email better than you and I both. Here's the part that not a lot of people are talking about or saying out loud. AI can't be the one who's accountable. When that deal goes sideways at 9 p.m. on Sunday, nobody's gonna call a chatbot. Hey, you were wrong. You screwed me over, right? Or to feel comfort, be like, hey, are we making the right decision? Hey, ChatGPT. Hey, Anthropic. No, they're calling you. They're calling me. We've had those phone calls. How do you actually build trust? Well, 2 ways. And no app touches either one. Brokerages know this. Big companies like Zillow and Redfin, they know this too, right? And the first one that I'm going to give you, it's very boring. It's consistency. It shows up the same way for so long that your client finally stops bracing for you to let them down. Most people in their life have let them down at some point because it's just the way it is. But you showing up the same way every single time for years is the thing that breaks that pattern. It's not a skill, it's a habit. And you have to get into this habit of showing up consistently in the same high caliber way. And here's why it matters right now. Go back to that number I gave you at the top. Almost 9 out of 10 buyers say they'd use their agent again. 18% actually do. You know what that gap is? That's agents who built trust during the deal and then vanished after closing. I know because I did that for years. I wasn't that great at it. They were rock solid for, let's say, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, and then went silent for 5 years. Now, some of you did so amazing during that 45 to 60 day period that they're still calling you 5 years later. Congratulations to you, but that's not a plan. The trust was real. These agents just let it rot. And that's a big difference right there when you see what you could be doing versus what you're not doing. The second way that you can build trust is the one that scares a lot of agents and people. You tell your client the truth that it costs you a deal. I'm talking about sitting across from a buyer who absolutely loves a house. They're ready, they're emotional. The commission, whatever it is, it's basically in your pocket. And you look at them and you say, this is the wrong house for you. Don't buy it. If I was in your position, I wouldn't buy it. That sentence right there is worth more than every piece of software in your whole tech stack, and probably in their tech stack too, because a machine will never say it. In fact, they're trained to agree with you unless you go in there and personalize them and say, hey, disagree with me, or always look for something that's wrong with this, right? Model has no skin in the game. They're not there to do this. This isn't their job. It has no character to put on the line. And it'll tell you what you want to hear all day long because it's got nothing to lose. You, on the other hand, you've got everything to lose. And when you say the hard thing anyway, when you talk yourself out of your own paycheck because it's right for them, that client never forgets it. And I've gone through it. I can tell you, they just don't forget it. That's a client who sends you their sister, their coworker, their parents. For the next 20 years, I've watched agents in our world here locally and at Y Realty do this. The ones who win long-term aren't the slickest ones. They're the ones who show this form of authenticity and sincerity because they put this commission check on the line. People see it and feel it, right? They're the ones clients trust with the truth. I'd put one agent who's willing to tell people the hard thing up front against any tech stack, great follow-up robot, or even agent, because I've seen it work long term. So here's what it all comes down to. Trust isn't a tactic. Trust is downstream of character, and character can't be downloaded. You can't automate it, really. Number one thing, you can't fake it very long, right? You either build it or you don't. So here's what I want you to do today. Not this week. Again, the same thing we go through every day. Here's what I want you to do today. Pull up the last client you closed with, the very last one. If it was yesterday, last week, last month, last year, whatever, I don't care. And send them a real message, not a market update, not a newsletter blast, not a, hey, it's me, I need referrals, I need business. Not that one. Something that has to do with how they're doing. I was thinking about you, and here, let's get very specific. Go back to last week when we were going over handwritten notes. Those are very specific. And that right there is you starting to close that gap between the almost 9 in 10 who use you and the 18% who actually do. If you got something out of this one, follow and send this to somebody else. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow is part 2 to this. There are 5 parts. Please subscribe. And if you think you need coaching or you want to jump into the AI workshops we do, feel free to jump into ai.abrillianttribe.com or just message me. Have an awesome day.